Have you ever found the one, and then been to wonder if you're truly prepared for what is coming next? Well, that's the story of Leo and Ife, two young lovers in a beautiful bustling city, where dreams are big, and the stakes are even bigger. Their love story seemed perfect on the surface, but as they approached marriage, they discovered 5 crucial conversations that would either make or break their future together. Leo and Ife were like many young couples, full of hope, love, and excitement for the future. But as their wedding day approached, reality began to set in. One evening, while watching the sun set over the city, Ife asked, "Leo, how do you feel about money?" Leo paused, his brow furrowing slightly. "Money? Well, I've always believed in saving and being cautious. What about you?" Ife smiled. "I've always wanted to enjoy life, travel, buy nice things. But I do have some debts from school that I need to pay though." That was the moment Leo realized they needed to have a serious talk. They sat down, opened their bank statements, and had the first of many difficult conversations. It wasn't easy, but they both knew that understanding each other's financial habits and goals was essential. They agreed on a budget, decided who would handle the bills, and even started planning for the future, a future where they could both live out their dreams. A few weeks later, while strolling through a quiet park, they found themselves surrounded by families. Children were laughing, running, and playing, filling the air with the sound of joy. Ife turned to Leo and said, "Do you ever think about having kids?" Leo chuckled, "Of course. I'd love to have a big family, maybe 3 kids, all boys. What about you?" Ife hesitated. "I've always been on the fence. Maybe 1 child, someday, if ever. And I've always been more of a girly person." The laughter faded as they realized this was a serious conversation they hadn't had before. They talked late into the night, discussing how many children they might want, when they would start a family, and how they would raise their kids. They even touched on topics like discipline and education. By the end of the conversation, they didn't have all the answers, but they had a clearer understanding of each other's hopes and fears. As their wedding day drew closer, another conversation came up, one that could change everything. Leo had always dreamed of climbing the corporate ladder, while Ife had a passion for starting her own business. One evening, as they walked hand in hand along the busy streets of their city, Ife asked, "Leo, where do you see yourself in 5 years?" Leo didn't hesitate. "I want to be a top executive, maybe even run my own company. What about you?" Ife looked up at him, her eyes shining with determination. "I want to start my own fashion brand, something that represents our culture in a modern way. But that might mean traveling a lot, even relocating to another country." This was a pivotal moment for them. They discussed how their careers could impact their relationship, where they would live, and how they would support each other's dreams. They even considered the possibility of one of them getting a job offer far from home. In the end, they realized that their careers were important, but not as important as being together. They agreed to support each other, no matter where their choices would be or their paths might lead. Their next conversation came during a family gathering. As they watched their relatives interact, Leo noticed something. "Ife, your family is so close. Everyone's always together. My family is more reserved, we only see each other on special occasions." Ife nodded. "Family is everything to me. I love the big gatherings, the traditions. But I know it can be overwhelming." This was a conversation they hadn't anticipated. They talked about their family values, how they were raised, and what kind of family environment they wanted to create together. They discussed religion, traditions, and the role of extended family in their lives. They realized they needed to find a balance that respected both of their backgrounds and desires. They decided to blend their traditions, creating a new, shared family culture that honored both of their heritages. But the most important conversation came during a small argument over something trivial, like who left the dishes in the sink. It was then that they realized it wasn't about the dishes at all. It was about how they handled disagreements. Ife, with her fiery spirit, could be quick to argue, while Leo was more reserved, tended to shut down. One evening, after a heated discussion, Ife said, "We need to figure out how to fight better. Not with anger, but with understanding." Leo agreed. "We are not always going to see eye to eye, but that doesn't mean we can't resolve our issues with respect." They talked about how they would handle conflict, the importance of listening without interrupting, and the value of compromise. They made a plan never to go to bed angry with each other and to always communicate openly, even when it was difficult. And so, Leo and Ife, like many young couples, faced the realities of love and partnership head-on. They learned that love isn't just about the good times, but also about having the tough conversations. By addressing these 5 crucial topics: money, kids, careers, family values, and conflict resolution, they built a foundation strong enough to weather any storm. As they stood at the altar, ready to say "I do," they knew that their journey was just beginning. But with their love for each other and the lessons they had learned, they were ready for whatever the future might bring. And so, dear listener, remember this: before you say "I do," make sure you've had these conversations too. They might just be the key to your own happily ever after. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Leo and Ife's story. Their tale is a reminder that love is not just a feeling, it's a choice, a commitment, and a series of conversations that can shape your future. Until next time, keep love, respect, and understanding at the heart of everything you do. Don't forget to subscribe. Goodbye.